Today's topic is deficit budgeting. What is deficit budget? What is the need of this deficit budget for the government spending and its implications? What are the objects behind implementing the deficit budgetary system in the economy of a developing countries? Deficit budget means government spending more funds on different economic activities than its revenue. Public expenditure exceeds its revenue can be defined as deficit budget. There is a deficit in the budget means income is less than its expenditure. It means that expenditure more than its revenue. So government revenue is less, expenditure is more, then there is a deficit in the budget. So that our topic is deficit budget and its implications. Deficit budget, in the deficit budget there is a reduction in the taxes. Reduction means reducing the taxes, corporation taxes and income taxes. No need to increase the taxes. If the increasing the taxes, there is no question of revenue will also generate. But without increasing the taxes of the income tax, direct taxes, income tax and corporation taxes, government can increase its spending. Increase in government spending without increasing the taxes on the public can be deficit budget. So deficit, there is a deficit in the budget due to lack of proper revenue to the government. Why deficit budget is good for government, for the developing countries, what is the implications of deficit budget is the topic. First one, to promote economic development. How to develop the economy in a speed manner, in a right manner. To promote the economic development, there is a need of deficit budget. How the deficit budget will promote economic development? What is economic development? Economic development means, along with the increase in the income of the people, the national income of the people or per capita income of the people, there should be a change in the structure of the economy. So, it is a long run process to make necessary changes in the economy, in the structure of the economy. There is a need of government spending. By increasing government spending, it leads to increase the purchasing power of the people. The purchasing capacity of the people, the income of the people will rise. It leads to an increase in the aggregate demand. When there is an aggregate change in the aggregate demand, when there is an increase in the aggregate demand, automatically economy will be, there is a economic growth in the economy that leads to economic development. To promote ED means economic development. The first point is by increasing government spending, there is a scope to increase the aggregate demand. By increasing the aggregate demand leads to economic growth. To promote economic development, there is a need of government expenditure. Second one, boost up the economy. Facing recession, in the period of recession, there is no purchasing power to the consumers during the period of recession. By boosting up the economy during the phase of recession, there is a need of government expenditure, government spending on so many activities. To accelerate the economic development, to accelerate the economy, so many development activities should be taken up by the government. That is, the accelerate developmental activities is the third point. Fourth one, it's a method, it's the only method to financing the war. In the situation of war, there is a huge funds are required for the government. The only alternative for facing the war, only one method that is facing the war is deficit budget. Next, fifth one, deficit budget is to attract foreign investors and investments. Government is following the LPG model of economic development, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. So, in the case of globalization, promote foreign direct investors. A deficit budget is an instrument to attract foreign investments. Sixth one, implementing proper financial policy. The policies of the government will always try to boost up the economy, accelerate the growth. So, government has to take up so many activities, healthcare, human capital development, infrastructure facility, creating infrastructure facilities, create benefits to the unemployment, generating employment. These are all the activities. Government has to focus on these activities to promote and implement proper fiscal policy in the economy. So deficit budget helps to implement in a right way of a fiscal policy of the government. Next one, mobilization of unutilized resources in the economy. To move the mobilization means creating a situation, attraction to the investors to invest their resources, unutilized resources into the economy by increasing rate of interest bank rates as well as government bond yields. If there is a good returns on government bonds and high interest rates for the depositors, automatically the investment, unutilized resources attracts the investors to invest their capital in the government bonds, so that the government spending will be increased. So, what are the implications of the deficit budget? To promote economic development, to increase aggregate demand, boost up the economy during the facing the recession, to accelerate developmental activities, different activities of the government. The method of facing financing war. In war situation, there is only one method that is available at the government financing the war, that is deficit budget. To attract the foreign investors by globalization, at the present situation of the globalization, to attract the foreign investors, direct foreign investments, only deficit budget. Implementing proper fiscal policies of the government, mobilization of unutilized resources, higher interest rates, and government bond yieldings. So government is spending on different activities. That's why lowering taxes without increasing the income tax and corporation taxes, rising infrastructure facilities. There is a need of increasing infrastructure expenditure, invest to attract foreign capital. Deficit budget also attracts the foreign capital, boost the economic growth of the developing countries. So the deficit budget and its implications: to promote economic development, increase the aggregate demand in the economy, boost up the economy facing the recession, to accelerate developmental activities, method of facing war, to attract foreign investors, implementing proper fiscal policy, mobilization of unutilized resources in the economy, higher interest rates, and government bond yields. These are all the elements involved in the implications of deficit budget.